Thank you, Speaker. I rise to speak in support of the member of Blackdown's PID and to reject the amendments of the member for Hornsby. One of the things that this PID is seeking to do is to reflect our government's commitment at the election to rebalance population growth around infrastructure. And nowhere in New South Wales can it be greater seen the effect of not doing this than Camden. Camden, which not only in 2018-19 was the fastest growing local government area, it was also the fastest growing in 21-22. And in that time, in 2016, we had 78,218 people in Camden. And in 2021, that rose to 119,000. And Camden Council has estimated that by 2026, it will have increased by over 63,000 people to 183,000 people, which is an annual average growth rate of 8.83%. So the idea that we are suffering from NIMBYism, I find personally a little offensive. We have done more than our fair share. We have taken acres and acres and hectares of land. The former Liberal coalition government was quite happy to submit Camden to being developed on what was previously the market garden of Sydney, and houses are now, as far as the eye can see, in suburbs like Oran Park, Gregory Hills, Gledswood Hills, Leppington, and the idea that they then supported that with infrastructure building is, to be quite honest, a little bit of a joke, because the nearest train station to my electorate, I have two train stations within half an hour. One is Campbelltown train station, which is 20 minutes away, and one is Leppington train station, which the Carr Labor government planned, designed and funded. So in the 12 years that the former coalition government was in power, the amount of hard rail infrastructure and public transport infrastructure that they did to support the development in Camden was exactly zero. This means not only do we have no train stations, we have...
Not in Camden.
No, not in Camden. We've got no schools in that time.
You need to go for a visit.
And
you need to go for a visit.
we got... Okay, I'll get to roads. What that's done is driven every single person in Camden to have to drive. 50% of workers drive to work every day. Now, what that's meant is that you have to be organised as to where you are living and be prepared to pay the tolls on those roads. Now, I myself commuted this morning and it took me 2.5 hours to get here. I left home at 6:30 in the morning and it took me 2.5 hours to get here. And that's just not doable on any given day. That is longer than you are actually advised to drive in one sitting. And that was my commute to work today. We also have a bit of a problem with the idea of consultation that the member for Hornsby mentioned, because at one point in Camden, there was so much development in the area that the people of Camden did not know which suburb was which, because there were so many new suburbs coming at once, and our local paramedics and police force needed to resort to using Google Maps because their system of making their ways to homes was not keeping up with the development. We actually had a man die in Oran Park because the paramedics could not get to his house fast enough because his street did not exist in their system. Now, I love the idea of the member for Drummoyne saying that their approach was slow and measured and close to infrastructure, and I can tell you that that just is not the case. In Camden, we have had the most unbelievable amounts of growth, and we do not have the infrastructure to support it. And that is why I'm wholeheartedly behind the transport-oriented development program, because that will create development and create housing around the transport that people need to get around, so that people are able to live within walking distance of their supermarkets, their restaurants and their open space, and they still can get their public transport to get themselves where they need to go. This is a well understood model, and if you're not sure how it cannot work, then I suggest you come out and see everyone on the roads of Camden.